Do we have sound? All right, we have sound now. Yeah, we got sound. All right, so today I'm in the living room and just got out of boxing class. We're going to be, trying to figure out the whole YouTube thing, get, posting every day and talking about topics, getting used to the whole shit, because repetitiveness is what gets us to do better. So let me find my shake, my microphones. All right. So, as I was saying, you got to do it multiple times. And I get it. I think that the biggest thing that um, pulls us back is that we get stuck doing what we don't like repetitively. Like a job that you don't like, but you have to go to because you got to pay bills. That's a perfect example. We all get caught up in jobs that we hate doing for some crazy reason, but we got to do them because we got to get money, right? So those are the things that become repetitive in our lives. And unless you sit here and go through the struggle of being broke, of, even being homeless, like a lot of people who I'm like hearing millionaire stories, these guys are now millionaires, were once homeless. Like they were willing to be homeless to jump into something that they love to do and then reap the benefits because it's not so hard. Like I go to my boxing class, I love going in there, hitting the bags, just doing the workouts, and it's something that I like doing. It's not sitting here pumping iron the whole day. It's not sitting here, squat or maybe doing like CrossFit or doing something like that. But it's gotten me healthier. I've lost, 25 pounds. I enjoy doing it. I wake up in the morning, gives me, a reason to go do it. And it's become repetitive. The days I don't go or I have to miss because something comes up, I have to go to work or whatever the case is, my body's like, damn, or my brain is like, man, I missed it. That's the feeling you should get when you are used to doing something you like. And that is like we sell ourselves out of doing that a lot of times. So, I'm going to try and put this mic on, see if it sounds better. But let me see. And then we're doing this live over here on the live stream because at the end of the day, if I don't start doing this way, I'm never going to do it. I got to find out the most comfortable way for me to create content on YouTube and enjoy it and speak to an audience that's going to understand where I'm coming from. So I'm going to sit here and just do this on the regular. Find the most comfortable setup. Right now my setup is the Mevo camera, which is like literally the first camera I bought. I bought like 10 cameras. I've got the Insta360, which is an action camera, and they all have their use cases. But if you want to go on here, you want to talk about what's on your mind, you want to spit your knowledge, you want to create things, you want to discuss topics. I believe for me, I'm a very spontaneous person. I'll just go off of the dome and start talking about a topic that I know about. I don't, or I do my research. So if you see me come on here and I'll talk to you about something, it's because I've either done the research or we can do the research together or I know about the shit already. So I'm going to stick to my strong suits. I've been through a lot with when it comes to maintaining relationships, whether it be in business, whether it be in your personal life. I see a lot of guys in their 30s who are still single, so I can definitely offer you some advice on that. I believe that nowadays, I think honesty is the best policy. You know, if you got to sit here and lie your way into a woman's underwear, then you should definitely change your game. So I definitely could talk to you about that kind of game also if you're interested. Just leave a comment below. Let me know what you're interested in talking about, and we could definitely, kick the can down the road and I can spit some knowledge. But I'm going to create specific videos about that content, okay? And I think that it's super important that we have channels today that are not just trying to sell you a course or trying to sell you this or have all this great crazy editing. I'm gonna put a camera up here and I'm gonna talk to you guys how it is. I'm gonna get better. I got my mic. I didn't even want to set it up because I just wanted to hit record and get to it and make it a daily routine where I at least try to come in here and talk to my audience, talk to my people on YouTube, get my word out there and build a community together, because I feel like I can help out a lot of people because of the things I've been through. I've been on my own since the age of 14. At the age of 12, I was already driving a car without a license, obviously, but I was put into adult positions early on in my life, which forced me to become more of an adult at an early age. I was a single. My mom was a single parent. My dad was around, but he was out doing his thing. So I feel like, we can connect in that way, because I think a lot of the struggles that we faced back then. By the way, I'm 47 years old as of recording the date on this video or this live stream. I feel like, we are living in a very comfortable era with technology, with, how much money people are making nowadays, and these massive houses that we're living in today. So I think that a lot of the people growing up, and I know for a fact you don't learn a lot of this stuff in school, is what happens in life. And this is something that AI can't replicate, anything like that, because AI will not go through life struggles. So I've been through things since I was 12 years old, 10 years old. Even before that, I was going through things, raised in the Bronx, migrated here from the Dominican Republic, faced a dad, parents got divorced at an early young age. The streets raised me because my mom had to work 2 jobs. And then finding my way down here to Florida, and also on my own out here as well, because my mom and my dad stayed in New York. I came out here and I was staying with my aunt for a short time. And then I went out on my own, at the age of, 14, 15, I was already driving my own car. I was working. School wasn't really my thing. So I I know what it is to be interested in things. So when you have an interest and you chase it, what makes you successful in your interest and what you're chasing and your goal that you're trying to achieve is repetitiveness, is doing it over and over and failing. Failure is not really failure, it's winning. Because had you not tried, you would have never figured out that, oh man, I can't do it this way. So I'm going to try it again, but I'm not going to do that mistake. I'm going to fix it and fix it and fix it. And then you become an expert at your craft, not because you're good, only because you failed. You get what I'm saying? So, the whole thing about creating that image is being able to do the things that you really want to do, even though nobody's watching. Like right now, nobody's watching my live stream, and I know that, but the goal for me is to put these videos out and to get to understand what really works, what people like, what is happening. People don't care about this type of subject. Okay, then fine. I stay away from that stuff. I don't want to, what works for me, I can shift into different topics and conversations. And I feel like that is the ad, is that when you come to a source where you can get information, or, some advice, or, maybe you can relate to something that I've been through, and you don't have to go through that yourself. You basically got some knowledge, got something out of this content, or got something out of this video. So that's pretty much the goal. And the story, that's how it is. But yeah, I'm sticking to YouTube. That's the other thing I've established, is that, a lot of times we try to grow on different platforms all the time. We're trying to grow on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, blah, 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 blah. I'm going to stick to just YouTube and grow on YouTube. And then, maybe the short content stuff that I break down, I'll throw it out there, but with no expectations of anything but focusing on my YouTube community. So for me, that's the goal, and I'm gonna stick to that. So we're using the Mevo multicam app to stream today, and just wanted to basically get on here and test it, see what it does. Check out the features and all that good stuff. But it's a perfect way for me to just hit the camera and record. I'm gonna add my mic to it and see how that works.